Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode with the Noisemakers. Today, we're talking about something very interesting. Have you ever heard this phrase, fake it till you make it? Anyway, let me start by introducing my guest today. My guest is Daniel.
Hi, viewers.
We have to apologize for my co host who is unavoidably absent. We miss him and we miss his noise. But let's roll because I'm sure the two of us can handle this today. So, Daniel, fake it till you make it or hard work. What do you think?
Um, I would rather go for hard work because I think. Okay, let's first of all talk about the idea or the concept of faking it till you make it. I I think it is a reality distortion. Yes, and it encourages deception. It encourages pretense, and there's nothing really sweet about those two. Yeah.
But let me say this thing. What if you're faking it because people already have this idea that you should be this person? Sometimes it's not really lying or distorting the truth. It could be like you're having a hard day and you're not supposed to wear your troubles on your face, so you're gonna fake it through it and then go home and have a good cry or a good shout or whatever you want to do.
I also get that part. I'm saying this. I'm saying it encourages deception and it also encourages pretense. And I'm saying that with full awareness of the fact that some people that they actually benefit from faking it, and it could have positive outcomes, just like you said, and it only breeds positive outcomes only when it has to be about character, I think, when it has to be about our behaviors, when we have to show up in certain occasions and then we want to put up a superb persona, and it could work for us, but it's just for a very short time. Yeah. So it has a time frame in which it elapses.
Well, let me say this thing. I think there's this popular interview that most people know that Rihanna had, and they were asking her, "How do you feel on on the worst days and all that?" And then she says, "I fake it." I mean, that's faking it. But first of all, before we even go that deep, this making it is literally becoming a success story, right? So what do you think success is about? How do we measure success?
I think success is a combination of real effort, and it takes a set of skills to achieve success. So I also believe that it's not possible for us to live a life without faking it, especially in our society where you have to fake confidence, you have to fake a smile, you have to fake a particular look, you know, dress like for the job that you want and not the one you have. You know, it's not really possible for us to live a life in this part of the world without some kind of faking it. But I believe success at some point in time has in its sustenance. Okay, you can achieve a short-term success, and that success would easily or quickly wipe away if there is nothing to sustain it. And me saying that, I mean beyond or beneath the faking it, the pretense, the wishful, there should be some substance that would definitely maintain that success. So success, it's facts. It's different from fiction. Faking it is the fiction. So success is facts for me. That's what I think.
Okay, Daniel, do you believe in packaging?
Packaging. Yes, I believe in packaging.
So you understand the concept of packaging because you have to package yourself in Nigeria. We package ourselves all the time.
Okay.
Will you say packaging yourself until you actually get to the place where you want to be is a bad thing?
No, it is not bad. It is not a bad thing. Now, I think we also need to know when it is okay to fake it. because you can't fake it. It can't be all the time. You can't fake it all the time. You should know that there is a time when it is okay to fake it, and there is a time when it is not okay. And when I say this, I mean faking it could, like I said, positive outcomes when it has to do with our behaviors. In a public appearance, you may want to, you're not feeling really great, you're not feeling in a bad mood, but then you have to force a smile, you have to put on a bright look just to make everyone think, yeah, you're okay. Or you have to dress proper for an interview because you want to appear great, you don't want to be looked down on. Yeah. So I believe in packaging, and I believe that it has positive outcomes, but there's a fine line between that and a blown out lie when someone is faking it about their competences, their abilities, their capabilities, or the potency of maybe a product, if it's in a work or a marketing setting.
No, let me
it's
ask
different.
you this question.
Yeah.
All of us were living fake life.
No. yeah, you have a point.
Fake life is expensive. I mean, there are people. I think there are levels to this fake life. Let me explain. Yeah.
Okay.
I took a break sometime early this year, like December, January, February, and decided not to make my hair, my nails, and all that. I came back and decided to make my hair and my nails. By the time I was done, I looked at the money I spent. I'm like, what? I called my sisters. I said, this is fake life to make hair and nails just to look good. I mean, it's a fake life because I could ordinarily have gone with my natural nails and natural hair. But it's not something I like. I mean, I like my hair and my nails to look good. Okay. So, I mean, it's a fake life because, I mean, we're trying to package, but it's expensive. Now, that's a different level. There are people that stop at maybe hair and nails, and then there are people that go as far as wearing designers and all that when they are fully not able to afford it. But let's go into this concept that really blows my mind. You know how your friend is getting married and you need to buy ashebi and all that, and let's say it's an out of town,
very expensive.
Yeah, out of town wedding. If I decide to go for an out of town wedding, I'm going to be looking at maybe 300, 500,
okay,
depending on the days and how many nights I'm also going to spend, depending on also the fact that there will be ashebi, I would have paid for makeup, all that. Maybe I want to buy a new shoe or a new bag or something because it has to match with all that. And then I decide to go and borrow I decided to borrow that money because this fake life is sweet. Fake life is sweet, though.
Yeah, it is.
But do you think that's too much? Like I'm faking it too much?
Well, like you said, there are different stages or different levels to faking it.
I mean, I'm not going to do all that. I'm just saying people do it, please. When I say I, am just using I like like me as a person, but not I would do that. No.
Well, people do it, and for some reason, it gets them something in return, which is people tend to believe that you are this person, when in reality you are really not. So I think it benefits you in a way, but it's short-lived, and I'm not really against that. I'm not really against that because, like you said, it's not possible for us to be real 100% all the time, and then there are situations in which you just have to put on a different persona, and you are really not, I mean, in the sort of it at that time. So you want to forcibly bring out another aspect of you or borrow someone's personality, like you said, go and borrow items which do not really belong to you. But when you make it a habit, when it becomes a habit, a pattern that would turn you into a full-time liar, a full-time imposter. I call it like it's an imposter syndrome. Okay, so when it becomes, if it becomes a pattern in which at every occasion you want to go out, even if, I mean, some people find it hard to even wear their own clothes. Their clothes may look finer than even the ones they are going to borrow, but because they formed a pattern such that at any given point in time, they have an outing, they don't seem to be satisfied with the things that they have, and then they have to go out just to borrow. So it could quickly escalate into a very deceptive pattern, and then that's when fake it or you make it becomes like a really, really hazardous lifestyle. That's what I think.
What are people that borrow for their weddings?
Well, in this part of the world, that's very common. People borrow a lot of things.
It's not an investment. Having a wedding is not an investment, because I get the fact that people say, oh, people will give us money and all that, but you can't recover the amount that you have borrowed based on the money contribution people are going to give you. What if they don't give you that amount?
Mm-hmm. Well, I just think that's a societal thing that we have fallen prey to. I think it's a societal thing that it has really, really landed so many people into unforeseen expenses and even debts, which some are even struggling to pay off till date. I think there are still people who would want to live within their means when it comes to things like that. And those who are still going to borrow, they will still borrow, whether or not they are going to make any gains or whether people are going to give them or dash them money at the wedding occasion. I just think it's a way of life. And this way of life is achieved. It's something that it doesn't just start a day. It starts from you trying to want to be another person, you trying to want to put up a particular image, a fake image, okay? You want to put up that image, and you want, because it needs maintenance. If the real substance is not there, if reality is not there, that's when it becomes very, very expensive, because you start borrowing things that you can't really pay for or you can't really afford. It's going to cost you a lot. Financially, it's going to be the least of your problems. Financial losses will be the least of your problems. It's going to cost you friends. It's going to cost you trust. People are going to distrust you. Transparency won't be there. Whatever you wear, even when you buy your own things, people won't really believe you that these things are yours, because you've formed a pattern of. But I feel people who engage in such lifestyle, or people who adopt the strategy of faking it till you make it, they should be wary of the long-term disadvantages, because it has a very, very distorting pattern, such that if you're not careful, you become a regular fake lifestyle kind of person. Yes. So it's something that it develops over time. These people they don't wake up one day and then they just start being fake people. It's something that starts gradually and then progresses into you becoming a full-time liar. It's a lie. To live a lie, yes, it's a lie. That's what I think. I think what we should be talking about is, what gains does one stand
Exactly.
to get when they fake a lifestyle?
Because I agree, there must be some benefit from faking it.
Yeah, there is actually. There is, of course, there is. If it's not possible for us, like I said, it's not possible for us to live a life without some aspect of faking it. Yes.
So what do you think are the benefits
I, I, I think it's a wishful lifestyle.
I don't think so.
I think. Now, wait, let me explain what I mean by it's a wishful lifestyle. Like, you want to live a life. You have you want to you have future achievements. You want to be there, but you're not yet there, and you want to start living it.
You're
at the moment.
manifesting it.
You are manifesting it if you are currently putting in strategies, plans, if you're working on it.
But you do realize that faking it takes a lot of mental energy. Let me explain this here. Let's say I wanted to live a fake life, and I want to be a big girl, a slay queen, whatever. It's going to take me a lot of time to think of how best to either borrow money or even rent, because right now people rent a lot. You see, on social media, they tell you that they're renting dollars to come and put up on social media. Now, if I'm going to take all this time, I'm going to look for how to pay for the money I rent. Mm-hmm. I'm going to look for how to pay for it, if it's clothes or if it's cars I'm renting. All these things, I also have to look for the money to put it in place. Now, by the time I do all that mental exercise, come up with a way to pay for it, come up with a way to even make the money to borrow all these things or rent it. And maybe I'm doing all these things because I think I want to network in a greater playing field. Mm-hmm. Like there are certain people I want to meet, because if I'm putting up all this show, there has to be somebody. Maybe I'm pursuing a business or a contract and all that. And yeah, it would mean I'm using all my mental energy to plan my fake life, and I probably won't have enough time to put in for work. But at the end of the day, the benefit is I still want to roll with certain people, be friends with certain people.
Okay, yeah. It takes, like you said, it takes a lot of mental effort to even carry out a fake lifestyle. It takes a lot. And one has to be very smart to even want to pull off that. And I hear some people succeed in maintaining that for a very long while. And there are great benefits to it.
Exactly.
But my own problem is it's short-lived. It has a time frame for which people will start expecting to see something more from just the superficial, what you show. All right, I spoke about our behavior, our character. For example, I'm not a confident person. I don't feel comfortable speaking in a public gathering. Mm-hmm. And then I had this problem when I was back then in the university. I had problems standing in front of a few people to speak, a crowd of people, like 10 people. I become very nervous. I don't know how to talk. I forget my lines. And then I started thinking of ways to work on it. One thing I did was I took up the role of the class governor. How do they call it? Course rep, right? Yeah, I think they call it course rep. So I took up that role, more like, it didn't fall on my laps, but I vied for it, and I got it. Now I got it, I started training to speak with my colleagues, my classmates. That was where, at times when I feel my heart pounding, I'll still force myself to stand in front of these people, and I'll say things. And funny enough, not very many of them even figured out that I was nervous. But gradually, I started pushing myself. It was not the real me as at then. Mm-hmm. In fact, at most instances, I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really know what I was saying. You understand? But gradually, it's not like after school and into the working life, and I feel totally comfortable when I am around too many people, but I hate it less now than I hate it less now than I used to. So it has a benefit such that you're forcing yourself to be another character which you are not at the time, but then you're making practical steps. It also, you know how they say law of attraction, right? You think of positive
Yeah,
things.
of course.
You think of positive things. It starts replicating in your life. You understand? I want to look like a senator's son. Start wearing the clothes. I'm probably a primary school teacher. I start dressing like I'm working in a federal government parastatal, and gradually some people believe, and I think I share in their opinion too, that in some way it turns to want to bring those things closer to you. But my point is, at some point, even when you get that success, when you get to that accomplishment, when it brings those things which you want to be, you want that character, you want to be that character, when it draws you closer to that point, you need something more to sustain it. Because if you don't have that reality, if you have not built yourself practically, you won't be able to sustain it. That'll be when people will now see that, oh, this person he's not really the person I thought he is. You get.
But I also feel like a lot of people are superficial right now. So nobody is even checkmating whether you're superficial or whether you're faking it. Because you hear a lot of people just shouting fake life, fake life, fake life. And nobody is that, well, not nobody. A lot of people are not deeply rooted anymore to have the discipline to wait for delayed gratification. That's something I believe in. I feel like there's a time for everything. You have to go through each stage to get to the next one. So if you're not doing that and you just want to jump in and you see like a 21-year-old saying, "Oh, I want to buy a Benz," and you're like, "What are you doing? How did you get here?" And you're just 21 and you think all these people that are driving Benz, I mean, they worked hard for it. Now, since we're losing the culture of hard work and imbibing in the fake it, do you think there's something we can do to bring back hard work?
Well, yeah, I think hard work should be the core of everyone's life. But unfortunately, that's not what we have at the moment, especially when people believe so much in, not like believe, but people tend to want to live a lifestyle that is not really theirs. They want to belong. And I think it's that push to want to belong to a certain social class that makes people to want to live a fake life in the first place. But at the back end of it, there should be some atom of hard work, of reality, real effort, okay? And that's the core essence of who we are. That's the defining factor of who we are. And if all there is about a person is just the fake lifestyle, the superficial, and then you look beneath it, there is no real substance, then it totally translates to an empty vessel, they will say. Yes. Yeah. And so that's what we have in our society right now. I also think that faking it is quite beneficial in a few ways, because it sets one on a track. It sets you, it puts you on a frame, and your mind gets a template towards achieving what you want to achieve. Okay? So once you have a picture, you have a desired accomplishment, you have a desired future you're looking towards, it sets your mind to it, it keeps you on track towards working on it, and that's when faking it, I call it faking it responsibly. Yes. You fake it responsibly, because you're not just faking it to stay in the glory of the moment, but you are working on it to be that person that you are aspiring or you are emulating to be. So I think that's the only aspect when it breeds positive values for me. That faking it could be a positive propeller towards achieving what you want to achieve. But the downsides are quite tremendous. And
Let me ask you this personal question. Have you ever had a scenario where you had to fake it? Whether it be work or personal, but have you had a scenario where you had to fake something?
Remember, I said it's not even possible for us
So
to
give
live
us an
a life.
example of your responsibly faking it.
Okay. Like I talked about my time at school.
Yeah, but I'm saying now as an adult.
Well, now as an adult, yes, I've had to attend a wedding. It's a wedding.
Exactly.
It's a wedding. It's a wedding. And I had a problem with the costume for the wedding. There was a prescribed costume for that wedding, and I had a problem with it. Not had a problem with the costume particularly. I had it, but I didn't like the one I had. So I had this friend of mine who was a master of all of costumes. He's really, he looks dapper all the time. So I had to borrow. And it felt good. Well,
Exactly.
it felt good at the time. It really felt good. And I got caught. I got caught in the sense that someone saw the clothes I wore on my friend later on.
Ooh.
And then approached me and said, the person was actually thinking my friend got it from me. And then I had to open up and say, he didn't borrow from me. I was the one that went to borrow from him. And I felt so ashamed of myself. So yeah, I've had instances where I've had to fake it. I've had to fake it. And it feels good at the moment when you're doing it. But in the long run, you need something to sustain it. And you better fake it responsibly. Otherwise, you get caught. You're going to lose a lot. You're going to lose people's trust. You're going to lose, people are not going to take you for who you are. They're just going to think that, this person, you could do anything to be whatever. You know, it's an impostor. They will look at you as an impostor. They'll look at you as someone who can be trusted, someone who is a liar. Yes.
All on faking it. I mean.
Yes. So it will cost you more. If you are faking it and you're enjoying the glory of the moment, you're just enjoying it as it is happening, and you're not making real actual effort to become what you want to be or to get to where you want to get to. So if I borrowed the suit, it was a suit actually. If I borrowed that suit and I wore it at that time, and I wasn't making any real attempt at getting mine. And each time I wanted to dress for an occasion, I would just go and borrow from my friend. I just go and borrow from this friend. I borrow this socks, I borrow this shoe. It becomes a pattern, such that even when next I have my own personal things, I won't feel comfortable wearing them. I would still want to go out to borrow. And that's when faking it becomes a very, very, very it's disadvantageous to our lifestyle. So that's my point really.
Okay. So before we wrap this up, what is the one lesson you wish that people would learn when it comes to faking it?
I would say faking it is a wishful thinking. It's a lie. It's a reality distortion. It's an imposter syndrome. There is really nothing sweet about it. In the long run, you stand a lot to lose. In the short run, on the short term, on the interim, you get a few benefits from it. But where you don't make real actual effort to build character, to build abilities, competence, capabilities, then at some point in your life, in your social life, in your career life, the chaff will fall away, and then they will see you, they'll see the bare you and know that you are just an empty person and there's nothing there. So please, for anyone living a fake life,
Get substance.
get real substance, please. Get substance into it. And that's what I have to say.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniel. While the fake life is sweet, the fake life is also very expensive. And yes, we can fake it at some point because, I mean, sometimes you have to dress the way you want to be addressed, which is important. So fake responsibly.
Responsibly. Responsibly.
Otherwise, I think we should learn a bit of contentment, because if we're content with what we have, we would eventually work hard and get there. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share your fake it experience, because I'm sure we have a lot to share. And also send this video to your friends. Let them interact with us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Goodbye.